With billions of people watching around the world and expectations riding high, the World Cup makes heroes out of players, elevating them from stars to icons. For example, there's a religion based on Diego Maradona in Argentina. Well, in Brazil, Ronaldo achieved similar legendary status. He was on 2 World Cup winning teams and is the all-time leading striker in tournament history. I got the chance to sit down with him in Rio for a one-on-one interview where we talked about the beautiful game, family, and the corruption accusations behind the World Cup. Take a look.
Drops it, and Ronaldo gets there first.
He's been called one of the greatest soccer players of all time. A record 15 goals in World Cup history, 3-time FIFA Player of the Year, and a technique that always left him one step ahead of his opponents. It's no wonder Ronaldo's been nicknamed O Fenômeno, or the Phenomenon. We met up with the soccer superstar at his Rio penthouse to talk about this year's World Cup and his own career.
How did it feel winning the World Cup for the first time for you?
Too young, so I was very happy to be there.
At just 17, he was named to the Brazilian national team for the World Cup.
I didn't play nothing, 1 minute, nothing. But it was great to learn and see how the great players like Romário, Bebeto, Dunga.
Ronaldo played in 3 other World Cups before retiring from the sport in 2011.
I miss the games, just only the games. Because training every day, I don't miss it.
But this year, he's back in the arena. As a businessman with his own sports marketing company, he's helping to promote the World Cup as one of 6 official ambassadors.
Why do you think Brazil is the perfect place for a World Cup?
Because people live in football like a religion. People think football every day and every second.
They have faith in the sport, but this World Cup isn't without doubters. With all eyes on Brazil, organizers have been accused of corruption as they funnel millions of dollars into construction projects.
Are you skeptical of anything?
Everything is good. The stadiums are good. Most of them are finished. We are very confident.
Nowadays, Ronaldo is more worried about his family than the soccer field.
Do you still play for fun or no?
No.
I mean, I can only imagine. Let's play with who? Ronaldo?
But I had to give it a try, or at least the next best thing.
Oh! Prazer.
Wow, Pedro.
I beat him afterwards.
Sure, yes. So you got the exclusive that nobody gets. You were at Ronaldo's. So what was it like to be at his place?
Well, I mean, think about this. He was 17 or 18 when he won his first World Cup. I mean, can you imagine what that does to a poor kid's head? You know, like, it's incredible. What really surprised me when I got there is that he turns out to be like a family man, a father. You know, he got a lot of slack, a lot of bad press, because back when he was in his 20s, he partied a lot. And I'm not saying, like, when I mean a lot is a lot.
Pedro says a lot, it's a lot. Okay?
But now, I mean, you get into his penthouse in Rio, and it's like you see family portraits everywhere. You see toys everywhere. His brother is there. All of the kids from the family are there. He's very passionate about his parents. He loves art. He has a pool. It's like a loud house, like a typical. It's funny because people say that if you want to go to a really good party, a really prosper party where like you eat a lot and dance a lot, go to the favelas, go to the slums, and those people know how to throw a party. Well, his house is that with money. So it's a fun place.
Because he comes from that, right?
Exactly.
So let me ask you, I mean, just one last thing before Giannis asks you. You grew up in Rio.
Yes.
So was it mesmerizing to see him? Is he super charismatic?
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things. You think you know the person. You know, for me, I grew up, like I was saying, Maradona in Argentina, there's a religion about him. Like in Brazil, I mean, I grew up hearing his name and thinking of him almost like an icon that doesn't exist, like an image that people pray for every World Cup. And then to be sitting with him and see how, I mean, he has great sense of humor. He laughs at everything. He laughs about his game, his weight. He laughs about him. Like, he's great.
He's put on a few, for sure. I mean, sitting with him would be like, for me as a basketball fan, sitting with Michael Jordan. I mean, there was a time that Ronaldo was the most, maybe the most famous player in the world, maybe the most famous person person. And one of the top 3, 4 famous people. He was an ambassador for soccer. That was a dominant team that he played on. Brazil, big soccer country, World Cup's there.
Yes.
You spoke about the corruption down there. What's the state of that? Is the infrastructure up?
Well, he says, as he should, because he's the ambassador of the World Cup, he says that everything is fine. But it's not so simple. I mean, the bill for the World Cup is going to be $14 billion. Just in stadiums, they're spending $3 billion. I mean, Brazil has a history of hardcore, heavy corruption. So it's understandable that everyone is a little skeptical of spending this kind of money on an event like this. We're talking about a country that, I mean, hospitals don't have beds, you know, schools don't have teachers, places don't have accessibility for people that are handicapped. So it's a country in need. If you got 20% of these 14 billion and invested in infrastructure that could eventually help people further down the road, that could probably be a good idea. But the truth is, you know, I mean, a lot of people are making money off of the World
Well, we look forward to your ongoing World Cup coverage.